DR journey began with a 2:30 a.m. meeting with instructions that no one was awake enough to remember, leading to a bus ride we wouldn't soon forget.
Just got off the most exhilarating bus ride of my life. Here to paint the picture. 13-foot high double-decker bus, 12'6" overpass. Let's just say the top was the sunroof and we all thought we weren't gonna make it. Everybody screaming, nobody knew if we'd have a roof when we were done, and it was just incredible.
After we landed, everyone was excited to get to work. Well, almost everybody. After some temporal displacement, our bus arrived, where we soon learned that the loaders knew how to defy the laws of physics themselves. We finally got on the bus and began to make new friends. As we got underway, we saw the scenery you normally associate with the DR change to a much starker reality. But that's what we're here for, so it only excited us for the next day. Our second day gave us an idea of what the average day in the DR will look like, including a time for a photo op with friends, getting a quick bite to eat, and even forming a boy band, all before our daily devotional and prayer to get us in the right frame of mind.
1 John 3:16-20. We know that real love is because Jesus gave up his life for us. So we also ought to give up our lives for our brothers and sisters.
We got a quick application of this by packing food boxes for the people of the Bates. Everyone lends a hand until they don't. From there, we split up into our separate teams and went to do what we came to do. All we got was a quick snapshot, but you can stay tuned with us for an in-depth look into what each team does every day. On Sunday, we learned firsthand that things at Joe Hartman School are always swinging. It didn't take long for some amazing students like Alejandro and Freddie to replace us on camera and sound. They then employed a bunch of their friends to produce the rest of this video.
So we are here at the Joe Hartman School today for our annual day of play with all of the students here. There's probably maybe 150 out of the 220 students, and as you can maybe see behind me or hear, it is chaos at its best. These are a couple of my friends. This is our little sponsor child, Kathleen, and this is Lenny.
This day was all about quality time with some kids who needed a lot of love, holding as many kids as possible, or watching them totally school us in baseball. Bottom line, we had a happy and fun time loving on these kids. But the next day would have different emotions.
Alright, so yesterday when we pulled up to Bate Como Quiera, almost immediately after we got off the bus, I noticed this little boy who was kind of standing to the side away from the other kids, and one of the first things I noticed about him was that he only had one arm, and that on the other arm it seemed like it was cut off. And I know from past experiences in the DR and at the Bates that sometimes any kid with a disability is often like isolated from the other kids and just isn't included all the time to play with them. So I kind of just like automatically wanted to make it my mission to include him in everything we were doing, and help him to have fun that day and make him just feel special and included and loved. Got to speak to someone on the village who knew what had happened to the boy's arm, and they told us that about 6 months ago, some man came to the village that was looking for his mom, and he went to their house and she wasn't there, but the little boy Albert was there. And to get back at the mom, the man actually cut the boy's arm with a machete while the boy was there alone. The man's in prison now, thankfully. He got caught by other people in the village and taken away, but now this little boy's life is changed forever. While I was holding him is when someone was telling me the story of what had happened to him, and like holding him in my arms and like hearing about those things that had happened to him like shattered my heart into a million pieces. Like I literally was weeping all day because I just couldn't imagine like something that horrible happening to a 3-year-old boy, like, and having his life be affected like that. Like I wanted to like hold him and just like make him feel loved, because it just like broke my heart that something so horrible had happened to him, and I just like couldn't think of a way to like make him feel better or fix the situation other than to just hold him and like love him the best I could.
In the DR, there are stunning landscapes with an even more stunning reality. What you see here is where the children run and play every day. They love baseball, and like the children at Joe Hartman, they love to learn new things and are touched by the slightest encouragement. They listen intently as we talk about Jesus. They pray with us and rejoice in what He is doing in their lives. We don't just share with the kids. We also share the good news of Jesus and His healing.
Someone, He will. La fella. Do it. Rally. If you just ask. In the name of Jesus. In the name of Jesus. Well, when God heals us, we tell Him thank you.
In the midst of people putting their trust in Jesus for the first time, we had a visit from our old friend Benoit, but we will share more about him another time. Next, we are off to deliver nutritious food to the people of the Bate. We also offer more prayer and comfort. Speaking of healing. With spirits full and stomachs fed, we go on to our next team, the medical team. They go out every day among the people of the Bates and barrios. The one you see now is set up in a church. Sometimes they even line up an hour early. This gives you an idea of the level of care they really need.
The first thing is height and weight, and then they move to blood pressure, and they have their temperature taken. Blessed that we have an optometrist with us. So we have sunglasses, we have cheaters in all strengths, and then she measured the prescription glasses. So these folks are waiting. They'll get sent to practitioners over there. So that's the next step. And then they'll listen to them and whatever their concerns are, their pains, whatever's going on. This is our pharmacy. Looks just like CVS, right? So all the meds that we brought with us in the duffel bags that everybody generously donated are all sorted in the bins. Those are our sophisticated shelving units.
Directly outside our med clinic, kids and adults can get what's affectionately called bug juice. This helps them fight off some nasty parasites that are here in the DR. After the work handing out bug juice, our volunteers make time to play with the kids, get to know their names, and insert a little bit of joy into their lives. The medical team do such a great job, it's hard to be around them without tearing up. But that's just one side of the coin. This is the Mobile Dental Clinic, a state-of-the-art facility which brings a standard of care that we often take for granted. While many receive treatments that can give 6 to 8 years of protection, people from all over the Bates pour in for emergency procedures. This is our friend Sharon and her patient.
If, as anybody knows, if they had an abscess tooth, one tooth is extremely painful, and she has probably at least 5 teeth that are abscessed. So that is not a fun way to live your life every day.
More than just pain relief, the dental care here affects the entire body. This care is preventative and helps to protect the heart, kidneys, liver, and even unborn children. For many here at the Bates, this is the only dental visit they have ever had.
Usually when there's tooth decay, the teeth decay on the first molars, which is the ones that we are sealing. Because when you have a first molar, that comes in first usually around the age of 6. So by doing this now, we prevent generations of having teeth extractions.
Regular care in the United States prevents many conditions that we see here in the Bates. Everyone on the dental team said that these were their very best patients they have ever had in the history of their practice. The demand for services was so great that we had to set up a mobile sanitization center, aka a pressure cooker. At the end of the day, some who lived with pain for years finally got relief. Meanwhile, at Joe Hartman, relief takes a different form. At night, darkness and fear can rule the Bates. Small oil lamps give minimal light. Come winter, the students will have to use the light of a phone, which can only be charged once a week to do homework, which leads to incompleted assignments and often ends up with them being regarded as lazy or stupid. But that's about to change. This week, the team installed solar panels, batteries, and lights. 10 families that once sat in the dark can now socialize and talk with each other into the night, and the students can finally finish their work. These setups save energy with a motion detection system that also allows everyone to move freely throughout the house without stumbling along in the pitch black. These units with radios and cell phone charging ports included can revolutionize the Bates, and the people are so excited that they are dancing. But Bate 50 is not the only one that's celebrating.
We initially planned on finishing the cafeteria so that the kids could go to school for a full day instead of just half a day. But 4 days before our arrival, Elsa Fenor, she leads the church and she leads a lot of the missions and the projects that we have, told us that one of the regulations that they needed to meet was to build a separate classroom for pre-K and kindergarten. So this year, most of our work is based on finishing and starting this classroom before August so that the kids can go to school. We initially began this week Saturday by moving 900 cinder blocks from one end of the school through the cafeteria, around the playground, and putting it right where the classroom would be. And then we started to shovel filler, and we went the same path with the filler to put it right in front of the playground so that we could begin pouring concrete and mixing concrete to finish building the walls for the school. It was very difficult, but with a big group such as ourselves, we were able to form an assembly line which sped up the process, facilitated the process, and we were able to work together as a team alongside the Dominican to get all these heavy materials across the school. The kids help paint the walls with us, and they just want to do it to help us. They don't want anything from it, they don't want to gain anything from it. They just want to help the Americans finish the classroom so that they could go to school as well, so that their friends could go to school. This is the first time where I've really started serving for other people. I really love just coming here and helping them so that they could have a better quality life, have a better education, and just learn more about God's Word.
At night, darkness and fear can rule the Bates. Small oil lamps give minimal light. Come winter, the students will have to use the light of a phone, which can only be charged once a week to do homework, which leads to incompleted assignments and often ends up with them being regarded as lazy or stupid. But that's about to change. This week, the team installed solar panels, batteries, and lights. 10 families that once sat in the dark can now socialize and talk with each other into the night, and the students can finally finish their work. These setups save energy with a motion detection system that also allows everyone to move freely throughout the house without stumbling along in the pitch black. These units with radios and cell phone charging ports included can revolutionize the Bates, and the people are so excited that they are dancing. But Bate 50 is not the only one that's celebrating. All week, there has been one job that has demanded a vast amount of work and attention. There was plenty of painting, pickaxes, lifting, shoveling, pouring, hammering, and staining, all to put a church on the highest point of the Bate, which was easier said than done. But today is the day to dedicate. We are all unified together as one body and one shirt. The party is just getting started. People are more than a little excited.
When we started building the first house, the next request wasn't for more houses. The next request was for a place to worship God. So we are so thankful for the spirit that loves God and wants to worship God here that led us to build this church.
Obviously, all work and no play isn't good for the team.